Many travelers believe that once they pass TSA security, their flight is guaranteed. That assumption is incorrect. In 2026, passengers are still being denied boarding even after clearing airport security without issue. And the reason has nothing to do with prohibited items or safety screening. It has to do with airline enforcement rules. TSA's responsibility ends at security screening. The airline's responsibility begins at the boarding gate. Those are two separate systems and they do not operate under the same authority. In this video, I'll explain why airlines can legally deny boarding after TSA clears you, how passport validity and ticket restrictions are verified at the gate, and what final checks happen before the aircraft door closes. Understanding this distinction can prevent missed flights, unexpected fees, and serious travel disruption. Let's begin with the difference between TSA clearance and airline boarding authority. To understand why boarding can be denied after TSA clearance, we first need to clarify what TSA actually controls. The Transportation Security Administration is responsible for airport security screening inside the United States. Their role is to detect prohibited items, weapons, explosives, and other security threats before passengers enter the secure area of the airport. When you pass TSA screening, it means your carry-on passed security inspection. You were not flagged for restricted items. Your identity matched your boarding pass. It does not mean your passport meets international entry requirements. Your visa is valid. Your ticket class allows specific baggage. Your airline has completed final travel verification. TSA's authority ends once you enter the secure departure area. From that point forward, the airline is responsible for determining whether you are eligible to board the aircraft. And that distinction is where many misunderstandings begin. Once you pass through TSA screening, the responsibility shifts entirely to the airline. Airlines are legally responsible for transporting only passengers who meet all travel and entry requirements. This includes verifying passport validity, visa status, transit country requirements, ticket eligibility, fare class restrictions. If an airline allows a passenger to board without proper documentation, the destination country can fine the airline and require them to return the passenger at their own expense. Because of this, airlines perform their own verification process separate from TSA. At the boarding gate, agents may rescan your passport, review your ticket class, and confirm compliance with destination entry rules. These checks are not security checks. They are eligibility checks. And eligibility is determined by airline policy and international travel regulations, not by TSA screening. This is why someone can clear airport security and still be denied boarding. The two systems operate independently. One of the most common reasons passengers are denied boarding after clearing TSA is passport validity. Many countries require that your passport remain valid for a specific period beyond your travel date. This is commonly known as the 6-month passport validity rule. For certain destinations, your passport must be valid for at least 6 months beyond your arrival date. For others, validity is calculated from your departure date. Airline check-in systems automatically cross-check passport expiration dates against the entry requirements of your destination country. If the system detects that your passport does not meet the required validity window, it can flag your reservation. That flag may not appear during TSA screening, because TSA does not evaluate international entry compliance. It often appears during final boarding verification. At the gate, the airline scans your passport again. If the validity requirement is not met, the airline can legally deny boarding, even if your passport has not yet expired. This is one of the most misunderstood international travel rules in 2026. Expiration date alone is not enough. Validity window is what matters. Another reason passengers are denied boarding after clearing TSA involves ticket class and fare restrictions. Not all airline tickets include the same privileges. Basic economy fares, for example, often come with strict limitations. Some airlines restrict overhead bin access for basic economy passengers. Others limit carry-on allowances to a personal item only. If your ticket does not include a standard carry-on and you arrive at the gate with a full-size bag, the gate agent can stop you from boarding until the issue is resolved. In some cases, additional fees must be paid immediately. In other cases, if the flight is full and baggage capacity is limited, boarding can be delayed or denied. Airline systems track fare class eligibility during final boarding scans. If the ticket conditions do not match the baggage or boarding group being used, the system may flag the discrepancy. Again, TSA screening does not evaluate ticket class rules. It only ensures security compliance. Fare enforcement is entirely controlled by the airline, and that enforcement happens at the gate, not at security. Carry-on enforcement is another reason passengers can be stopped at the gate after clearing TSA security. TSA evaluates bags for prohibited items. Airlines evaluate bags for size compliance. Most major U.S. airlines limit carry-on size to approximately 22 inches, including wheels and handles. Even if your bag passes through TSA screening without issue, it may still exceed airline size limits. At the boarding gate, gate agents may require your bag to fit inside a measurement frame. If it does not fit properly, the airline can require the bag to be checked. On full flights, especially in basic economy fares, enforcement tends to be stricter. If baggage fees are required and cannot be processed in time, boarding may be delayed. In rare cases, non-compliance can result in denied boarding. This enforcement has nothing to do with security clearance. It is based on cabin space limitations and airline policy. TSA clearance confirms safety. Carry-on enforcement confirms eligibility under airline rules, and those checks happen independently. Another reason a passenger can be denied boarding after clearing TSA has nothing to do with documents or baggage. It involves overbooking. Airlines routinely sell more tickets than there are seats available on the aircraft. This practice is based on statistical models that predict how many passengers will not show up for a flight. When more passengers check in than expected, the flight becomes oversold. In these situations, airlines first look for volunteers willing to take a later flight. If not enough volunteers step forward, the airline may deny boarding to certain passengers. Selection is usually based on fare class, frequent flyer status, and check-in time. Passengers with lower fare classes or later check-in times may be more vulnerable. This decision happens at the gate, after TSA screening, because it is a boarding capacity issue, not a security issue. Even though you cleared airport security, the airline still has authority to deny boarding due to operational limitations. TSA approval does not reserve your seat. Boarding authority remains entirely with the airline. Visa and transit requirements are another reason boarding can be denied after TSA clearance. TSA does not evaluate visa eligibility or international entry compliance. That responsibility belongs to the airline. When you check in for an international flight, airline systems verify visa requirements for your destination, transit visa requirements for connecting countries, ESTA or travel authorization approvals, entry eligibility based on nationality. Even if you are only transiting through a country, you may still need a transit visa. Some passengers assume that if they are not leaving the airport, no visa is required. That assumption can result in denied boarding at the gate. Airline systems use international travel databases to confirm whether your passport and nationality meet entry conditions. If the system detects missing documentation, the airline must deny boarding. This enforcement often happens during final document verification, after TSA security screening. Again, TSA clearance confirms safety. Airlines confirm eligibility. And eligibility includes visa and transit compliance. Before an aircraft door closes, the airline performs a final passenger verification process. This step happens at the boarding gate, not at TSA security. During this phase, airline systems confirm passenger identity match, ticket validation, seat assignment confirmation, fare class compliance, document verification status. If any discrepancy appears, even at the final scan, boarding can be stopped immediately. For international flights, this may include a second passport scan. For domestic flights, it may include seat reassignment or operational adjustments. If a boarding pass is flagged in the system, the gate agent must resolve the issue before allowing entry onto the aircraft. These checks are part of airline operational control, not security screening. TSA's role ended when you cleared the checkpoint. From that moment forward, all authority rests with the airline. This layered process is designed to protect the airline from regulatory penalties, documentation errors, and operational risk. And it explains how a traveler can pass TSA screening and still be denied boarding moments before departure. Being denied boarding after passing TSA is frustrating, but in most cases, it is preventable. The key is understanding that airport security clearance and airline boarding approval are two separate processes. TSA ensures that you are safe to enter the secure area of the airport. The airline ensures that you are eligible to travel. Before your next flight, take a few structured steps. First, verify your passport validity window, not just the expiration date. Second, confirm visa and transit requirements based on your nationality and itinerary. Third, review your ticket class to understand baggage and boarding group restrictions. Fourth, check your airline's carry-on size limits, including wheels and handles. And finally, check in early, especially on full flights, to reduce the risk of overbooking complications. When you understand how these systems operate independently, denied boarding becomes far less likely. Clearing TSA means you passed security screening. Boarding the aircraft requires meeting airline eligibility requirements. They are connected, but they are not the same. If you want clear explanations of airport rules, airline enforcement policies, passport requirements, and travel compliance updates in 2026, subscribe to Flight Secrets. Because knowing the rules before you fly can save you time, money, and unnecessary stress at the airport. Know before you fly.